Hi everybody, welcome to this DILR marathon. I have promised you guys that I'll be uh, doing this for some time, and since we are now getting closer to the cat, I thought I'll accelerate this part of what we are doing. And I'm for today's session, I'm picking up two sets. One set is the javelin throw set, which is supposedly the one of the most difficult sets ever in the cat. And the other one we'll be doing will be one from my book. The other one I'll be doing will be one from my book LR for Cat, the eighth edition. Or usme I'll be doing something slightly easier than this, but at the same time decently intelligent set, which is an LOD2 set from the Venn diagram chapter. So that's what we'll be doing. So without any further ado, uh, let me start discussing this set because this is one of the toughest. If you actually rate why did I choose the javelin throw set, could have gone to many more. I've already done one of the sets on Erdos number in this series. So Erdos number had an historical importance in the context of cat because of the fact that it was one of the sets that signaled the differential that was going to happen in the cat going forward. The first time something like that was asked, and the javelin throw is a different beast because of the fact that the javelin throw set is something which, if I rate 100 150 sets of the cat of the last 20 15 20 years that we have access to, उसमें अगर टॉप टू और टॉप थ्री मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट सेट्स का बात करेंगे तो javelin थ्रो उसमें definitely आएगा, right? So this is what the reason is for me picking this up, and I'm just waiting for more people to join in before I start. So parallelly, yesterday night I'd come live for some time to discuss your queries about last fortnight preparation for CAT. Unfortunately, वो सेशन खराब हो गया था because मेरा नेटवर्क बार बार ब्रेक कर रहा था. I was outside. So today we'll do that. I'll try to come live again sometime in the evening. किसी भी टाइम आ जाऊंगा 8 से 11 के बीच में. So depending on my time availability. So you can look forward to just keep the channel uh, subscribed, and also keep the channel the bell icon so that you get to know what's happening there. Chalo. So all set. Can I get some hellos from some of you who are there in the session before I start this set? Right. So let's start. So this question starts pretty innocuously. The question starts with, as you can see, the question is starting with 10 players, P1 to P10, competed in an international javelin throw event. The number after P of a player reflects his rank at the beginning of the event, with rank 1 going to the topmost player. And there are two phases in the event, with the first phase consisting of round 1, 2, 3, and the second phase consists of round 4, 5, 6. So at this stage, you will start building a table where you will say that, okay, I've got three rounds, round 1, 2, 3, round 4, 5, 6. And obviously, I mean, in this PowerPoint, you don't have that vision, but in the exam, you have the vision of this table that you can see with respect to distances in the rounds. So you know that at this point, you are trying to build those a table for the performances of the 10 players. So you will kind of write your P1 to P10 on the rows. These are the 10 players. And round one, two, three is the first phase. Round four, five, six is the second phase. Let's go ahead further. A throw is measured. One of the things that I always talk about, एक चीज मैं हमेशा बताता हूँ तुम लोग को कि you should always make sure that you're reading a set only once. मतलब जितना minimize करो going back into a set उतना better होता है. उसके लिए your first reading has to be more effective, and and if your first reading's effectiveness goes up, your going back into the set goes down. And even if you need to increase the time, even if you increase the time of reading, you go a bit slower than you can for the first reading, being a bit more careful. तो उसे because you're not going back into the set and you're not going back and forth into the set, दो चीज होता है. क्लैरिटी तुम्हारा बढ़ जाता है. फर्स्ट रीडिंग या क्लैरिटी में सब कुछ मिलता है तुमको. दूसरा, you save time because you're not going back in the set. You're going back very rarely. So that is something that you will keep track of, or keep mind of, or you'll keep that in mind as you see my solving of the set. So a throw is measured in terms of the distance it covers in meters up to 1 decimal point accuracy. Only if the throw is a valid one. So it's measured only if it's a valid one. For an invalid throw, the distance is taken as 0. A player's score at the end of a round is the maximum distance of all his throws up to that round. Right? Players are re-ranked after every round based on their current scores. Just give me a second. I'll just pause the video a bit, and I just want to make sure that you're able to read this better. So I'll just break my PowerPoint into a couple of pages so that you can read this, because I have to show you both the PowerPoint as well as the Word file together, because otherwise I'll not be able to solve this without showing you the parallel Word file. तो थोड़ा सा मैं declutter कर दे रहा हूँ इस PowerPoint को. And then I'm going to restart the. Okay. So we are here till now. उसके बाद ये बोल रहे हैं player score at the end of a round. One sec. Yeah, so I hope you guys can hear me now and see this. So I lost all the writing that I did. So I'll just quickly rewrite this. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And players P1, P2, P3, P4. I don't want to write 1, 2, 3, 4 here because I don't want to get confused with the rounds and the players. So I'll take a bit of time if I'm just trying to show you the honest solving sheet I will use if I'm solving this question. So what does this question say further? A player's score at the end of a round is the maximum distance of all his throws up to that round. Players are re-ranked after every round based on their current scores. In case of a tie in scores, the player with the prevailing higher rank retains the higher rank. This ranking determines the order in which the players go for the next throws in the next round. So we know this pretty much because of Neeraj Chopra ji. We have all watched him get those Olympic golds and silvers. So we know this part quite well. So we don't need to spend too much time trying to understand this. So we keep going ahead. In each of the rounds in the first phase, the players throw in increasing order of their latest rank. That is, the player ranked 1 at that point throws first, followed by the player ranked 2 at that point, and so on. The top 6 players at the end of the first phase qualify for the second phase. In each of the rounds of the second phase, the players throw in decreasing order. That means player 6, rank 6, throws first, followed by player ranked 5, and so on. The players ranked 1, 2, 3 at the end of the sixth round receive gold, silver, and bronze medal respectively. So before we go back, one thing that I would like to remind you of is that the first round is pre-ranked based on their past performance. And from second round onwards, the ranking will be based on their first round throws. So the number of a player reflects his rank at the beginning of the event, with rank one going to the topmost player. So the order of throw in the first round will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This would be the order of throwing in the first round. And the question further says the player's score. Okay, this one we've already seen. All the valid throws of the event were of distinct distances. So when you read this, you automatically realize that there's no tie involved. The previous slide had talked about a tie. The previous paragraph had talked about this tie part. Here, in case of a tie in scores, the player with the prevailing higher rank retains in the higher rank. So, but in this statement, that the possibility of a tie is gone. So we keep going ahead. The table showed distances. Below showed distances in meters covered by all valid throws in the first and third round of the event. So what we need to spot is that this is talking about all valid throws. So we come back to this, and when we look at this all valid throws part, so first round, all the valid throws in the first round, that means anything outside this is invalid. So the throws are 82.9. By P1, P2's throw is invalid. P3's throw is 81.5. P4's throw is invalid. P5's throw is 86.4. P6 throw is 82.5. P7 throw is 87.2. P8 throw is invalid. P9 throw is 84.1. And P10 throw is invalid. So there are 6 valid throws in the first round and 4 invalid throws. Now, according to this, the order of throwing in the second round will change. The player rank 1 will be this guy. So he will be the first player to throw in the second round. The second player to throw in the second round will be P5. The third player to throw in the second round will be P9. The fourth player to throw in the second round will be P1. The fifth player will be P6. And the sixth player will be P3. And 7, 8, 9, 10 will go to P2, P4, P8, and P10. So one of the things again is not just making sure that you read slowly, but you also deduce whatever you can. Once a question leaves you at a certain point, for example, after this first round of throwing, the question has left you at a certain point where you can reduce the order of throwing in the second round. So the question setter typically wants you to think through and finish that off, because you don't want to go back to this thinking later in the problem. So now they are straight away, they've avoided telling us what happened in round two, and they're just giving us distances of all valid throws in round three. So round three, P1 scores 88.6. P3 scores 79. P9 has a throw of 81.4. And P2, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, and P10. There are only three valid throws in the third round. So everybody else will be missing out on their throws in the third round. And then the question moves into the clues. The following facts are also known. So this clue is about the second round. Among the throws in the second round, only the last two are valid. Now, this is where you get the benefit of having done this red marking that I've done here. Only the last throws are valid. Last two throws are valid. So there are only two valid throws, the ninth and the 10th one in the second round. So everything else is invalid. So you don't need to bother much about any of the other scores. And both the throws enable these players to qualify for the second phase, with one of them qualifying with the least score. And none of these players won any medal. So both these scores have to help them qualify. Has to be a qualifying score. This also has to be a qualifying score. So if I start spotting that, okay, if these two are going to be qualifying scores, amongst the other six, the other throws, I got six valid throws in the first round, three valid throws in the second round. I will be looking for the top four values to identify. I already know two people who are qualifying. A total of six people have qualified. I know P8 and P10 have qualified. So I'm trying to look for which are the other four qualifiers with the top four values of throws. So if I look at that, I can make out that this has to be a qualifier. This has to be a qualifier. One problem is I'm not told what these people threw. I just know that they threw something that made them qualify. So both these throws were qualifying scores. That much I know. So both these throws were qualifying scores. So this is a qualifying score and this is also a qualifying score. बट वी डोंट इनका वैल्यू नहीं पता है हम लोग को तो हम लोग टॉप फोर देख रहे हैं बाकी में व्हाट आर द टॉप फोर थ्रोस सो आई गॉट 88.6 आई गॉट 87.2 आई गॉट 86.4 and the fourth highest in this list is 84.1. So I now know my six qualifiers. My qualifiers are going to be P1, P5, P7, P8, P9, P10. P1, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. These are my qualifiers, right? And these two throws, one of them is the least one. Now, we know that P6 is not qualifying with 82.6 and the lowest qualifier is 84.1. So one of these two throws, I don't know which one, has to be between 82.6 to 84. That means good enough to qualify, not good enough to beat P9's score, P9's qualifying throw, and better than P6 throw because P6 is not qualifying. So one of them is 82.6 to 84. The other one I don't know. It could be all the way. It could be 89, it could be 90, it could be 86, 87, whatever it could be. So there are two unknown values, one of whose range we know, the other one we know is something which is more than 82.6, greater than this guy, definitely, and could be greater than everybody else, could be somewhere in between also. But the key is that they did not win a medal. P8 did not win a medal. P10 did not win a medal. This is the key. So the medals will go only to four of these people, three of these four people. So if a player throws first in the round, now this is the most critical clue, and this was the clue that confounded a lot of people. यहाँ तक तो you can actually make out what's happening, but ये clue critical हो जाता है. If a player throws first in a round, and he was also the last among the players in the current round to throw in the previous round, then the player is said to get a double. So you have to understand this, and then they tell us two players got a double. So you have to understand from here, the key factor to understand is in the first round, the 10th thrower, if he becomes the first thrower in the second round, then he'll be a double. He'll get a double. So we can see that this has not happened. There's no double here because the 10th thrower is P10 and the first thrower is P7 in second round. So from first round to second round, the double has not happened. A double will also happen from second round to the third round if the 10th thrower of second round becomes the first thrower of third round. Now, this is possible if P10 becomes the first thrower of the third round. A double is possible here. Now, for P10 to be the first thrower of the third round, his throw has to be higher than, he has to become the top because the rule for the first three rounds, who throws first, is the table leader throws first. So P10's throw, if P10 is one of the doubles, P10's throw has to be more than 87.2 then, right? So if we assume that P10 is a double, P10 from round 2 to round 3 achieves a double, which is a possibility, then P10 in round 2, his throw has to be greater than 87.2. And in that scenario, the 82.6 to 84 goes to this score goes to P8. So P10's value has to be greater than 87.2 in that case. This is something we can work out here if there's a double here. Now, in the third round, if P10 goes more than 87.2, if P10 goes more than 87.2, then what is going to be the order of throwing in the third round? He's going to be the first thrower in the third round. So 10 to 1 becomes a double. The second thrower in the third round is going to be the second highest throw till now, the 87.2. The third, please remember, P1 has not got his 88.6 yet. So the third thrower is going to be 86.4. The fourth thrower is going to be 84.1. This guy. The fifth thrower is going to be 82.9. The sixth thrower is going to be P6 with 82.5. The seventh thrower is going to be P3 and you can P3 with 81.5. No, sorry. The sixth and seventh will need to change. The sixth thrower will be P8 because his throw is more than 82.6. The seventh thrower will be P7. The eighth thrower will be P3. And the ninth and 10th thrower in the third round would be P2 and P4. P2 and P4 have got no throws correct. Through. So they are not, they're just making up the numbers here. Now, so we know one double is, we've been able to identify one double in this scenario of P10, second round 10th thrower to P10, third round first thrower. Now we need to think of the second double. The second double. So now double is defined by you have to be the last thrower in the previous round and the first thrower in the current round among the players in the current round. That means from 3 to 4, it need not be 10 to 1. Who are the qualifiers? The qualifiers are P1, the qualifiers are P5, The qualifier is P7, P8, P9, and P10. And the other factor is the order of throwing is reversed. The highest throws first. The highest, the highest throws first. Sorry, the lowest throws first. In the first three rounds, it was highest throws first. In the next three rounds, it is the lowest throws first. So if you're going to go to lowest throws first in this round, the lowest qualifier they have already told us is P8. And sixth, and he's the sixth qualifier. And the qualifiers, amongst the qualifiers, P8, P9, P10, P5, P7, and P1, he is also the last thrower. He's the sixth amongst the six throwers. So there is necessarily going to be a P8 reversal. He is the last thrower amongst the six left in third round, and he becomes the first thrower of the fourth round. So I'm able to identify that P8 is my second double. Can a double happen from fourth round to fifth round to sixth round? Maybe yes, but the subsequent clues will tell you that this is the only possibility, because what they are saying is they are giving us a few constraints about the growth of scores. They're saying that in each round in the second phase, exactly one player improved the score. Each of these improvements was by the same amount. Now, if I, that means in the fourth round, the last thrower, according to the current scenario, could be either P1 or P10, depending on P10's value, right? Because that guy is going to be the highest, that guy is going to be the highest thrower, and he will be the last thrower in the fourth round. So the last thrower becoming the first thrower. When do you become the first thrower? If you are last thrower here, it means that you had the highest score. If you improve your score, to become the first thrower, you have to become the lowest scorer. So if you improve your score, you're not going to go from highest score to lowest score. The other scenario is that let's say there are six people. I'll just explain this through an example. Let's say in a different case, let's say there are six people with throws of 90, 89, 88, 87, 86, and 85. In round four, this guy will be the last thrower. Now, for him to become the first thrower in the next round, each of these guys have to go above 90. Five people have to cross 90. So this tells you that this is not possible, because the question tells you only one player improved his score in the fourth round, in every round, in the second round, in the second phase, right? Please, I'm repeating this part. You are the last thrower of the fourth round. because you are the maximum score. To become the first thrower of of the fifth round, you have to have the minimum score amongst the six people. For that, five people have to raise their scores for you to, and you not raise your score, for you to become the minimum thrower of the next round. And that's not possible with the third clue, which says that exactly one player improved his score in each round. So that means that the doubles are identified. The two doubles are P10 from round 2 to round 3 and P8 from round 3 to round 4. Now, then we focus on the improvements. So there is one guy who improved in round 4, one guy who improved in round 5, and one guy who improved in round 6. So who are these people who improved? I'm going to clean the board a little bit for you guys. Now, the first thing we know is that P10 does not have a medal and P8 does not have a medal. So intuitively we realize that if I raise P10's value, he's already 87.2 plus. If I raise his value further, if I give him there's a plus X, there's a plus X, there's a plus X 3 times. So if I raise his value further, it's going to be difficult to keep him out of the winning race, right? It is possible. It might be possible. No, it will not actually not be possible because if I raise his value from 87.2, even by a 0.1, or 87.3, even by a 0.1, then uh, and each of the improvements was by the same amount. So plus X, plus X, plus X. So if I give him 87.3 plus X, so to get this guy above him, P8 is not going to be a winner. P9 will not be a winner because to get P9 above him, I'll need to do 84.1 plus 2x because I mean, and the value of x will have to be at least 3.2 or more than that. So that's why we realized that P10 would not have raised his score, right? And they tell us further here, actually, ye zarurat nahi tha. The gold and bronze medal improved their score in the fifth and sixth rounds, respectively. One medal winner improved his score in the first round, in the fourth round. Now, this was again a trap here. One medal winner increased his score in the fourth round is a trap because when they tell you one medal winner improved his score in the fourth round, we normally assume that gold, bronze का यहाँ दे दिया तो यहाँ silver होगा. But as you'll see, this is not the case, and a lot of people got stuck on this. So the gold and bronze medal winner, so one in the fifth round. So this growth was for the gold winner, and this growth was for the bronze medal winner, and this growth was for one of the medal winners. So obviously P8 and P10 का growth नहीं आएगा. So if this is for one of the medal winners, it can either be for gold, silver, bronze, any one of them. So and the difference between the final scores, and this is the last key issue, the difference between the final scores of the gold, silver, as well as difference between silver and bronze was 1 meter. So what we realize is that I have to now think about P1, 88.6, P5, 86.4, P7, 87.2, and P9, 84.1. And I've got three X's to add to them. X, X, and X, three of them to add to them. And it should then happen that the three medal winners should end up becoming one apart from each other, score-wise. So the key is now what is the value of X and what is the value of the three numbers. So it's best I mean, in these kind of questions, you should always have a lookout for the questions that are going to come to you. So always keep a lookout for the questions. The first question, which two players got a double? Which two players got the double? It's very clear P8 and P10 got the double. This is something we have clearly identified. So the first question, this set of 6 questions. So you're playing for 18 marks. Who won the silver medal? We know the silver medal is P1, P7, P9, or P5. So I'm trying to think about, again, let me just put this part here so that we are we have clarity on this. So one thing we can make out, there's a plus X 3 times that I have to use. One thing I can make out is P9 we can eliminate because silver medal के लिए he has to go into the 88 zone, 87, 88 zone with 3 numbers. I mean, whatever number you put for him, then +1 and -1. The silver medal +1, somebody will get. The silver medal -1, somebody will get. So it's unlikely that he's going to be the medal winner. So for the time being, we can just say, okay, P9 seems unlikely, but that's not enough for us to answer the question. Let's look at the questions further. Who threw the last javelin in the event? The last javelin would be the topper after round 5. Whoever is the top after round 5 will be the last javelin, right? So we don't know that also right now. So the focus is what is the final score of the silver medalist? Now this is where you can actually start making up some thoughts. And that is if the silver medalist, you have 4 options for this. If the silver medalist is 89.6, then the gold medalist has to be 90.6 and the bronze medalist has to be 88.6. So somebody you'll need to take to 90.6. Your numbers, again, this is overlapping with the text here. So I'll rewrite those numbers. P1, 88.6, P5, 86.4, P7, 87.2, and P9, 84.1. So if I want to create this system, it means that this guy did not get any growth and he's the bronze medalist. This is a contradiction. This is a contradiction of this last clue that the bronze medalist improved his score in the sixth round. So that means he must have had a plus X. So if I take him to 89.6 with a +1, with X is 1, then the 2 other +1s will not be enough for me to get to 90.6 and 88.6. So I can actually realize, or if I take him to 90.6 with a +2 here, then +2s, 2 more +2s will not be able to give me this pattern. So score of the silver medalist, 89.6, is something we can reject. The second most attractive option is 88.6 because we have an 88.6 inside this. And I mean, of course, 87.2 also we have. So if I try to make this guy the silver medalist, it means that he did not improve his score. If this guy is the silver medalist, I need an 88.2 as the gold medalist, but I already have an 88.6. So this is gone. This can't work because the 88.6 will win the gold medal. With a 88.4 for the silver medalist, the three numbers have to be 89.4 and 87.4. Now that means that 88.6 has to get a zero point 0.8 plus to get to 89.4. And that means there are two more 0.8s. And these 2.8s are not sufficient to get any of the other three people to these numbers. And that means that the silver medalist must be 88.6. So this is a question where the options help you. You can't just solve it on the basis of what you have seen till now. You have to use the question and the options. So if I go for the silver medalist as 88.6, please remember the question has told you that the sixth round bronze medal guy improved his score, fifth round gold medal guy improved his score, and one of the medalists improved his score in the fourth round. So in this case, I've got an 89.6 and 87.6 possibility. And for that, this guy is constant. So the silver medalist becomes P1. And now I need to think about how do I use 3 plus x's. And this guy is not getting a plus x at all. 3 plus x's to reach this score and this score. So I can think about a plus 1.2 for the bronze medalists to get to 87.6. And if x is 1.2, the other two 1.2s will go to P7, who gets 1.2 twice to go from 87.2 to 89.6. And P7 is the gold medalist. So this becomes the structure. And what we now know is that since two 1.2s go to P7 and one 1.2 goes to P5, what we now know is P7 after this will be 88.4. His best score will be 88.4, and after the fifth round, his best score will be 89.6. P1's best score will still remain 88.6. We don't know whether he threw blanks or he threw values, but his best score is still 88.6 here. And P5 will not raise his score here. He might throw something, but he might not raise his score. He will definitely not raise his score. But he gets a plus 1.2 here and gets to 87.6. And with this analysis, you are through with the solution. You come back who won the silver medal. The silver medal went to P1 option. The silver medal went to P1. Option 1 is the right answer there. Who threw the last javelin in the event? So last javelin was thrown by the topper after round 5, which is P7. Who threw the last javelin of the event? That's going to be P7. What are the final score of the silver medalist? That's going to be 88.6. Which of the following can be the final score in meters of P8? P8. Now, P8 is somebody who has not improved his score at all. So his score has to remain between 86.4, 82.6 to 84. So there's only one value for that. Final score of P8, that's going to be 82.7. There's only one answer for this. And the last question, by how much did the gold medalist improve his score in the second phase? We have been able to work out that he improved his score by 2.4. If you could not do the analysis completely on the fourth question on who won, what was the silver medal score, you could have mixed question 4 and question 6 as options to actually get and the logic that the three medal winners were +1 from each other, from bronze to gold. So you could have used that to get there. So this is this thing. I think. Hi Tushar. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. I will do the. I'm seeing a pretty low turnout in the live session. So I'll be doing the question from my books resource maybe later in the evening today. So just keep a lookout for me coming live, and I'll also be live regularly. I'm going to be live today, sometime between 8 to 11, to discuss your doubts and your thoughts about last. Yeah, this question was not doable. This was very difficult. इस तरह के क्वेश्चन को तो नहीं करना चाहिए एग्जाम में. Right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this. So I'm going to wind up now. Thank you so much. Bye bye.